Guru Prashant Trivedi, a genuine guide in times of superficiality. Greetings all. I wanted to share a few personal observations and reflections on Guru Prashant Trivedi and his work as I continue on my own journey of learning and evolution. Before beginning, a gentle disclaimer. The work and impact of Guru PT do not need validation from anyone. His integrity, consistency, and contribution towards the well being of humanity speak for themselves. Further, every individual has free will to form their own perspectives, make their own choices, and experience the consequences thereof. This article is written entirely of my own accord and from my own independent observations and research for anyone who would like to learn and or know more. For centuries, if not longer, humanity has been living through an era where ignorance, pretension, and superficiality have become widely normalized through mainstream culture and media. Mainstream media and movies often shape what people think is correct, successful, or even truth. Unfortunately, much of it can be more like mental junk food than genuine nourishment. Easy to consume, but not always easy on the system afterwards. Over time, many people have unknowingly consumed these narratives so deeply that it has resulted in widespread confusion, lack of clarity, and disconnection from what is genuinely beneficial for human well being. Much of society has been conditioned to believe that mainstream media, entertainment, and social trends are reliable sources of truth and guidance for life. Naturally, this creates disappointment when people eventually realize that much of what is presented outwardly is often artificial, orchestrated, or misleading. This becomes especially noticeable in the field of spirituality. The words spirituality and guru themselves are beautiful and meaningful, yet today there is an overwhelming amount of confusion, commercialization, and nonsense attached to them. For many sincere seekers, this can make the search for truth frustrating and discouraging. It becomes difficult to find guidance that is genuine, practical, free from hidden agendas, and truly beneficial. Despite the confusion of modern times, the universe remains an intelligent and balanced system and provides the bright golden light of clarity in a time when confusion is at its height. This is precisely how I felt when I eventually came across Lotus Ocean and Guru Prashant Trivedi nearly a decade ago. What I found felt very different. There was no exaggerated performance, no artificial image building, and no unnecessary spiritual theatrics. Just clarity, practicality, coherence, and grounded wisdom. And honestly, after seeing enough overproduced quote unquote enlightenment online, that alone felt refreshing. To me, Guru PT stands apart because of his authenticity, intelligence, discipline, and compassion. One major difference between what is genuine and what is superficial is consistency, especially the difference between how people appear publicly and how they actually are privately. Today, countless stories have emerged of public spiritual personalities presenting themselves as enlightened while privately operating through confusion, ego, manipulation, corruption, or unhealthy behavior. In my observation, Guru Prashant Trivedi is a complete exception to this pattern. Whether on camera or off camera, he remains consistent, calm, disciplined, thoughtful, grounded, decent, and sincere in his interactions. Anyone who has genuinely explored the work of Lotus Ocean over the years or had the good fortune to interact with him directly may understand what I mean. Lotus Ocean, founded in 2005, presents ancient knowledge in a way that is practical, relevant, and applicable to modern life. Personally, I experience it as a distilled yet expansive body of knowledge that can genuinely help improve one's well being, awareness, calmness, and clarity. One of my earliest impressions actually came from visiting the Lotus Ocean website itself. It may sound like a small thing, but I still remember scrolling through the site and waiting for the usual avalanche of pop up ads, flashing banners, or quote unquote limited time offer boxes to appear. They never did. No gaudy distractions, no attention hijacking nonsense, just meaningful content. In today's internet environment, that almost feels like spotting a unicorn calmly drinking herbal tea in the forest. To me, this reflected something important, that the work itself was not centered around profiteering, emotional manipulation, or exploiting people's attention. That same quality is reflected in Guru PT's communication style. His perspectives are presented in a very unpretentious, unassuming, straightforward, clear, and factual manner without any complication or sugarcoating. One thing I deeply appreciate about Guru PT's work is how accessible complex topics become through his explanations. Subjects such as Vedic living, astrology and nakshatras, Rahu Ketu understanding, Ayurveda and herbal knowledge, human psychology, sound and vibration, conscious evolution, natural well being are communicated in a way that feels practical rather than abstract. Through his talks, writings, music, and discussions, one finds knowledge that is not only profound but genuinely applicable to daily life, engaging and evolving at the same time. He is the pioneer in the field of Vedic wisdom and in bringing back the knowledge of the ancients in a relevant and contextual contemporary way. His books on nakshatras and Rahu Ketu, released about 2 decades ago, continue to remain two of the most important works on the topic and highly regarded in the astrological community around the world for their piercing clarity and depth. What stands out most is not only the breadth of knowledge, but the coherence with which it is expressed. It is rare to encounter someone able to speak clearly across so many different subjects while remaining grounded and practical throughout. Long before grounding and natural living became widely discussed online, Lotus Ocean had already been demonstrating these principles in practical ways. For many years, Guru Piti has spoken about reconnecting with nature, respecting the earth element, and living more consciously through simple and natural practices. Through his Vedic style ashram and teachings, including the book Peace Gita, he has demonstrated how ancient principles can still be meaningfully applied in modern life using natural materials, grounded living, and environmentally conscious practices. This includes awareness around grounding and connecting with earth, respecting natural elements and the cow, simplicity in lifestyle, natural healing and well being, conscious daily habits, living in harmony with nature. At a time when modern society often dismisses earth and natural elements as insignificant or dirty, Guru Piti has consistently emphasized the importance of reconnecting with nature for physical, mental, and spiritual well being. In a society where many people are disconnected from nature while simultaneously paying subscription fees for apps reminding them to quote unquote breathe, these teachings feel especially relevant. His talks and documented interactions with nature and sound also demonstrate the sophistication and practicality of ancient knowledge systems when understood correctly and applied sincerely. His work consistently brings back attention to the basics of living through his teachings and his book, The Peace Gita, Scriptures for the Now, to heal the body and mind and experience greater calmness, clarity, and harmony in everyday life. Another quality I deeply respect is that Guru Piti teaches through example. In himself, he is a living example of the exalted level of intelligence and self preservation the human body technology can exist in, through natural Vedic practices as the ancients correctly knew them, in a pure form without any distortions or corruption. His emphasis on discipline, self responsibility, hard work, self improvement, and clarity feels increasingly rare today. Rather than promoting escapism or fantasy, his teachings consistently encourage practical effort, awareness, and grounded living. He explains complex subjects such as Vedic living, astrology, life and afterlife, psychology, and well being in a relatable and understandable manner. For many learners over the years, this practical approach has helped bring greater stability, clarity, and well being into daily life. To me, that is one of the clearest signs of a genuine teacher. Someone who helps people become more balanced, capable, and conscious in real life, not merely dependent on inspirational words. If you have read this far, or perhaps listened this far, if this becomes an audio article, which it has, gratitude for taking the time. In my experience, some of the greatest truths often remain hidden in plain sight. For those who are genuinely curious and sincere in their seeking, I would encourage independent research into the work of Lotus Ocean and Guru Prashant Trivedi to explore and benefit from the many practical insights and perspectives being shared. I have provided some resources and links to some talks and books that may offer a helping starting point. Appreciate you tuning in. You can feel free to like, comment, and subscribe on the article for more such updates. Gratitude muchly.